Hello everybody, Dylan here today from DHT Games, Comic Series, and more. Today we are going to be doing a top 10, and today's top 10 is going to be top 10 Sonic the Hedgehog prototype characters. These are character designs that Sega had for characters, but then ended up ditching them for the designs we have today. So let's get right into this today on DHT. Now the first one we have is Mr. Needlemouse. Mr. Needlemouse was a prototype design for Sonic the Hedgehog, and as you can see, he's a short stubby little thing with two googly eyes. Now this is mostly just a joke sketch, and Sonic went on to be the design that we know today. But I do find this design very entertaining to look at. He's cute and bubbly, and he's become kind of a meme character amongst the Sonic the Hedgehog fan base. Do I think he should have been the design for Sonic? No. I enjoy the design we got today, and I think this character should just stay as the joke prototype design we know him as today. Now the next one is Silver's prototype character, Venice the Hedgehog, or Venice the Minx, whatever he was originally. Now this character looks very similar to Silver, that's because he is, and the only main difference he has is that he has a little bit more of an edgy look to him, like he's seen some shit, and his hair goes down until he uses his telekinetic powers, then it spikes up. I think that's a really cool feature, and Sega should have left that in because it shows how much his telekinesis affects his surroundings. It even affects his hair. So do I think this would have been a really cool design for Silver? Yes I do, and I would have loved to have seen this worked into Silver's actual design. Now number 8 is Cream the Cat. She really looks similar to Cream the Rabbit, but the main thing is that she's a cat. Now would I have really loved to have seen this design? No, there isn't a lot to say about it because it's literally just Cream the Rabbit if she's a cat. It would kind of mess with her gameplay though, because her whole thing is that she can use her ears to fly. She can't really do that now since she's a cat, so I think this would really limit her. It's a cool design to look at and a cool design to think about, but it's really impractical seeing how we already had Big the Cat and we would later get Blaze the Cat. So Cream the Cat, will I miss her? Not really, but she is something interesting to think about. Now next is a design they had for Blaze when she was going to be in Sonic Adventure 2. For those of you who do not know, she was actually going to be the character who was Sonic's rival until they replaced her with Shadow. Shadow will appear later on this list. I like this design for her, and I call her Shadow the Cat because she doesn't have an official prototype design. She's a black inky blob type character. Now the next one is an Eggman prototype design when they were trying to come up with hero characters for the Sega Genesis, and all I have to call him is Sleepy Old Man because that's all I've heard anybody call him. It's Eggman but more adorable. He's in a set of pajamas, he's got a little stuffed animal, and he just looks like a little chipmunk or something. Would I like to have seen this design? No, because Eggman's a villain to me and that's all I'll ever see him as. But I would have loved to hear what the gameplay would have been for him and what his storyline would have been. Like, what villains would this sleepy old man have to fight? But in the end, I do prefer Eggman over Sleepy Old Man, but it's still a cool design to look at. Number 5 is another character design for Sonic the Hedgehog, and this one's way more radical and different than Mr. Needlemouse. This is Feel the Rabbit. When they were coming up with concepts for Sonic the Hedgehog, originally they didn't think of the fast hedgehog we know today. Instead it was going to be a rabbit that grabbed things with his ear. Yeah, this is a very strange design, and I was interested in the gameplay style, but now since I think about it, they've already done this with Sonic Unleashed with the Werehog and with Rise Star. So if you want to see what Feel the Rabbit would have been like, just go play Rise Star. It would have been an interesting experience, but in the end I still prefer Sonic over Feel the Rabbit. Do I think Feel the Rabbit should be brought into the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise? Possibly as like an Easter egg or something, but I wouldn't really consider him to be like a main character. He's just kind of a bland looking rabbit character. In the end, Cream is the way better rabbit out of the two. Number 4 is the prototype design for Dr. Robotnik for the Sonic SatAM series. Now I don't know what they were going for here. He looks nothing like Dr. Robotnik. He's some type of weird horned monster, and I think he's derived from some of the concept art from Sonic 1 for what the main villain was going to look like, but I'm really glad they just went for the redesigned Dr. Eggman that we got in Sonic SatAM. You can kind of see some leftovers of that in the Dr. Robotnik we got in Sonic SatAM because he's got the same pointy-ish head, same cape design. He looks very similar to this villain, but you can tell that Sonic SatAM wanted to be something different. They didn't want the cartoonish and crazy Dr. Eggman. They wanted a real, serious, mean villain. But in the end, I prefer the Dr. Robotnik we got in SatAM over this weird horned monster Robotnik. Now for number 3, we got yet again another Sonic SatAM character, and this time it's Princess Sally. She's not Sally Acorn, she would either be Sally the cat or just Princess Sally. Now this one was going to be far different personality wise than the Sally we got. She was still going to have the same attitude and still be the leader of the group, but she was going to be more teasing with her flirting. Instead of letting Sonic kiss her on the cheek, instead she like slaps a fish in his face. She was going to be more cartoony with it, more playful with it. Would I like to have seen this character? No. I think she'd be annoying and just a typical cartoon girl for back then. I'm glad with the Princess Sally Acorn we got today. Now number 2 is yet again another Blaze prototype, but this one I really love, and its name is, I'm gonna try to say this but I'm gonna butcher it, Silo the Wildcat. Now Silo looks very similar to Sonic. She's different shades of blue, she has some bright reds popping out, and her hair looks like Sonic spikes, but it's flames. I would have loved for her to have the exact same power set as Blaze, but still be able to run as fast as Sonic, and it would really show off that she's supposed to be the Soul Dimensions version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Would I have loved to have seen this character? Yes, I would have loved to her been in there instead of Blaze. I would have loved to have seen her. She really would have made a good counterpart to Sonic in the Soul Dimension, but I still really like Blaze, and I can't really say I want Blaze to be replaced now because I'm already so used to her. But Silo the Wildcat, your design's amazing, your colors are bright and vibrant, and I would have really loved to have seen you in the games. And number 1, I have to give it to Shadow the Hedgehog's prototype design for being so different, Terios the Hedgehog. Now I don't know if he would have the same power set, but he went through a lot of redesigns. He had a scar on one side, he had weird goggles, he was really buff, he went through a lot, and even name changes. I would have really loved to have seen this guy in the games. I would have really loved to have seen his character, how he would act, and to be honest, I think he was scrapped very late in development because it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. In Sonic the Hedgehog Adventure 2, Gun mistakes Sonic for Shadow. If Shadow was still Terios and basically a black looking Sonic, it makes way more sense. He has the same spikes going down, he has a very similar look and a very similar body structure. If he was in the shadows when they seen him, no pun intended, they could have easily mistaken him for Sonic. But now since we have Shadow in that scene, it's really hard to see why they would think that he's Sonic. He looks nothing like Sonic. They just both happen to be hedgehogs. So would I really love to have seen this character? Yes. But just like I said with all the other characters, I like Shadow. I've already grown attached to Shadow. He's the edgy hedgehog that I know and love, and I really wouldn't like to see him replaced at all. So Terios the Hedgehog, you're my favorite prototype design character, but just like with everyone else, I prefer the main design they went with. So yeah, that was my top 10 Sonic the Hedgehog prototype characters. Now, I want to say thank you to Sega for finally releasing these, and I want to say thank you to all the artists who put a lot of hard work into making these awesome designs. None of this list could have been possible without you guys. So if you like this video, you can like it. If you really like this video, you can share it. And if you have anything you disagree with or any prototype character you would have put on here, comment it down below. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you want to see more like it, remember to subscribe. Thank you guys, and bye.